time for the exciting adventures of Sky Girl.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Sky Girl Reporter, and I'm at the final night of the Oceanside International Film Festival, so let's check it out. This is my final video from the Oceanside International Film Festival, and in some ways I saved the best for last. First I talked to actor and filmmaker Brian Foyster about his movie The Last Take. Next I talked to David S Dawson about his movie Rolling for Riz. Next, I speak with his creative partner, Jordan Jacobo. Then I interview award-winning film composer Jason Hill. Finally, I talk to versatile film star Taryn Manning. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Brian Foyster. I'm here with a short film called The Last Take.
What is your short film about?
It's about two young guys in Hollywood in the 1930s. They're both actors, and they fall in love, and they have to split up because the movie studio makes them break apart and marry women to pretend that they're not gay.
How did you come up with your movie idea?
I saw some old photographs from the 1930s of a movie magazine about two guys that were living together, and that gave me the idea.
How did you get the actors for your film?
Most of them were friends of mine. I actually wrote the parts for the actors, so only one part I had to audition somebody.
What was your favorite part?
Oh, I had to shoot a car sequence with an antique car from the 1920s. So we shot it in Beverly Hills, and I was trying to be very under the radar. And it's such a beautiful old car that all the neighbors started coming out and admiring the car. So it was pretty funny. And then a tour bus pulled up and with people taking pictures. So that was pretty funny.
How did you get the car for your movie?
A friend of mine happened to he had just bought the antique car, so it was perfect.
What was the hardest part?
One day the camera stopped working, and I had flown actors out from New York. I had to return costumes the following day, so it was panic for about 45 minutes, but we got the camera to work again. You always got to be ready for things like that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.
Good luck with your film.
Thank you very much.
What's your movie about?
I made the film Rolling for Riz, and it's about a father doing a Dungeons and Dragons role-playing game with his kid and some of his friends, and trying to connect with his daughter, and succeeding but not succeeding all at the same time, mostly because he's not great at communicating with his kid.
How did you come up with the idea for your film?
This was one of those 48-hour film project movies, so we did it in 2 days. And it was a real collaborative effort between myself and my filmmaking partner, co-director Jordan Jacobo, who was my lead screenwriter. And the kids that were part of the film and a bunch of our crew members, we all sat together and spent about 6 hours trying to come up with the idea based on the genre that we pulled. And they all came up with this beautiful idea that they wanted to have pirates and they wanted to do Dungeons and Dragons and blend it all together. And we came up with this really clever idea that worked out really well. And they, for some reason, decided I should be the dungeon master, which made me the lead of my own movie, which I guess worked out okay because we're here, right?
Did you direct it too?
I directed it and starred in it, and thankfully my screenwriter, Jordan Jacobo, he co-directed it, so when I was on screen, he made sure that I was delivering okay as an actor as well.
What was the hardest part?
The hardest part was trying to do this thing in 2 days. We had a big cast, we had a bunch of locations, and the way we did the movie, we've got people playing around a table, Dungeons and Dragons, but then we reenact what they're playing in the kind of like real world. So we do the scenes at the table, but then we have them doing the scenes like out in real life as pirates. And trying to do everything essentially twice was a lot to do in 2 days.
What was your favorite part about it?
My favorite part was working with the kids, because all of them, it was their first like real movie experience. And they brought so much energy and so much passion for what they were doing, and so many really incredibly great ideas that really made it into the movie, and I think made the movie really fun, really energetic, and really funny as well. So it was nice. I mean, look at the title, Rolling for Riz. I'm turning 50 this year. That's not something I would have come up with as a title, right?
Thank you so much. It was amazing meeting you.
Thank you.
Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Jordan Jacobo. I am a writer, filmmaker, and director.
What is your film about?
It really depends. So I have a series called Jordan Loves, in which I go around San Diego and I sort of talk about the different places that I enjoy, mostly new restaurants and bars. And, if they throw me a free drink or some food, I don't complain about that. But I also like to get into the history of San Diego. But I also do something called Jordan Hates. And essentially, it's less family-friendly. And as the name would imply, it's very cynical and mean-spirited, but a lot of fun to shoot.
What's the most interesting thing you found out?
The most interesting thing I found out with Jordan Hates is that the world is a cruel, mean place and we all die alone. But the most interesting thing I found out with Jordan Loves is that if you have the right attitude and you sort of change your focus, the world can be a very friendly, warm place, and it's filled with good people if you're open to looking for that.
How did you come up with your idea?
With Jordan Loves, sometimes people reach out to me and say, hey, look, I have a new place. Do you want to come cover it? And I'm happy to do that because the less research I have to do, the better. I'm a very lazy person. With Jordan Hates, there are things that annoy me, so I'll gladly do episodes on them. But people also send in emails and they go, hey, I hate this, do a video on it. And even if it's stuff that I actually like puppies or pizza, I'll do it because I think it might be interesting to explore what's not to like about these things.
What do you really love and what do you really hate?
That's an excellent question. What I really love is San Diego. I love the history of San Diego, the places, the spots, the people, the organizations, and everything that goes into making this such a fantastic place, as they say, America's finest city. What I hate, I don't like technology. I realize that I'm the common denominator. I'm bad at technology, but it makes me feel better to complain about it. I'll mess up emails, and I get it. Everybody else gets it, but for me, I just like to rage. So I guess I love to hate on the stuff that I love hating on.
I think my producer would agree with you. Which one do you enjoy doing more?
Definitely Jordan Hates. It's just so fun and cathartic to just vent. And then once I get out of my system, I'm happy again.
That's really cool. Is there anything else you want people to know?
Yes. If you'd like to follow, my brand is Jordan Loves. It's on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And I also have Jordan Hates, and it's also on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And thank you very much for interviewing me. This is very nice.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Can you introduce yourself?
I'm Jason Hill.
I heard you do composing. What do you do?
I make music for films and TV and like Netflix shows and HBO and Apple and things like that, and then films.
What movies have you done it for?
I have a movie called Magazine Dreams that's about to come out with Jonathan Majors starring in it. Worked on a movie called Better Man, the Robbie Williams biopic. I've done shows like Mindhunter on Netflix and episodes of Love, Death, and Robots which are on Netflix. A show called Dark Matter on Apple. Lots of stuff.
How did you get started composing?
Gone Girl is the first thing I worked on and did the theatrical trailer and teaser, and that started me on my career. I was fortunate enough that David Fincher, the director, liked my music from my band Louis XIV, which is from San Diego as well. He just liked some of my productions and thought, oh, this guy could probably do what I want. And we just hit it off. I did a version of Charles Aznavour's She, a French song, but a darker version, the one that people know, and with a choir and an orchestra. And I fell in love with it, and working with him I loved. And then he hired me to do an HBO show and one Netflix show called Mindhunter. And then I've done things after that with him as well. But that's what got me on my way. I was fortunate enough to work with a really great director right out of the gates.
Which composers influenced you?
I love Vangelis, who did Blade Runner and Chariots of Fire and Mutiny on the Bounty and a movie called Missing. I love him so much. I'm sure there's others, but Vangelis is kind of my number one, really.
This is Vangelis. He even looks a lot like Jason. What do you think? What's your favorite part about composing?
Walking into a room and with the faint idea, or maybe none at all, and at the end of the day, there's something there that you've made, and just creating. To me, it's like a little kid playing with like Legos, just a pile of Legos, and it's like build something with it. And then the marriage between film and music is just such a fascinating thing, because often things just happen sort of randomly, like unintended, and it's just magic. And that magic is what's so exciting.
What's the biggest challenge in composing?
Gosh, that's a good question. The biggest challenge, I suppose, is just working with other people sometimes, because to me, I'm used to working with artists and musicians, and it's all about the greatest thing at the end of the day, but they're just opinions. Sometimes I think my opinion is maybe overvalued, meaning I think a lot of my opinion, and I care a lot, and I think it's hard sometimes to care a lot, and if the vision isn't going the way that you want it, as far as a film or a TV show, it's hard to not care as much. So that's something I've been trying to deal with is a little bit. I think it's ridiculous for me not to care, because I'm an artist and that's all I'm here for, but it's sometimes difficult in the business when you do care and you want something to be great, you know.
Is there anything else you want people to know?
I'm just happy to be here and glad to be at this film festival. They interviewed me last year and it was a really fun experience, so I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much.
Of course, thank you.
Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Taryn Manning.
What films have you been in?
I've been in Hustle and Flow, 8 Mile, Crossroads, White Oleander, Cold Mountain. I've been in Sons of Anarchy, Orange is the New Black, Hawaii Five-0, on and on and on. I've been working a long time.
How did you become an actor?
Oh my gosh, that's a really long answer. Just being cool and like showing up on time.
Why did you want to become an actor?
I really just didn't really have a choice. I was just born to be an entertainer. Nothing more, no agenda. Just born to show off. What about you? How'd you become a journalist?
When the schools were closed during the pandemic, I was really upset. So I went to rallies to reopen schools, and I got interviewed on local television a bunch of times, and I decided I wanted to be a reporter.
Wow. You really felt like that was your calling?
Yeah.
See? Sometimes you don't really know it, right? It just happens. It's beautiful.
What's your favorite part about being an actor?
I love being able to escape from my real life and going into a character. I do love that. Yeah, when you get to like totally transform and like completely forget where you've been or where you're going and just go all into a character is very liberating.
What's the hardest part about being an actor?
Nothing. I'm very grateful.
What's your favorite character that you've been in a film?
Oh my goodness, I have so many. So many. They're all so different. I don't judge my characters, so they're all so different.
Is there anything else you want people to know about you?
I don't eat animals. I'm a vegetarian. I love
I'm
animals.
vegetarian too.
Are you really? Look at that. Thank you. All right, you vegetarian.
I felt bad for the animals.
See? Beautiful. Yeah, sometimes there's just people that were born here to live that life, and sometimes people don't understand it, but it's real. And guess what? We don't judge you. It's just our way of life, right?
Thank you so much.
All right, have a good time. Thank you.
Here I am at the after party with pizza, and it's really good. I'd like to thank everyone I interviewed, and I hope to see you next time on Sky Girl Reporter with a new adventure.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.